Can you tell me how close you are to naming an interim director of the Department of Development?
Very close. Like, get ready for the meeting tomorrow. Okay.
Before the inauguration.
Where are you going tomorrow? I think you'll want to be up at Ohio State sometime. Was that still what we're planning? Yes. Okay, so you'll hear about it. Yeah, we're very close, and I'm really excited about what we're going to announce. But I've been excited about, I mean, how often do you get a guy that they name buildings after?
You said these the services provided in these areas aren't ripe for devastating cuts, but you know, Governor Strickland, who worked in the mental health field, you know, had to cut services from these areas. Isn't it reasonable to expect that, you know, given the budget situation, we're going to have to see some kind of reduction? And can you speak to what we might expect
there? Yeah, Mark, the situation is that John Martin got a heads up that there were going to be cuts in developmental disabilities. He's ground out savings in administrative services. He told me there's more to do. We're not done with it. There are more changes that can come that can save us money, bring us greater efficiency, but at the end of the day, not take away from people. I'll tell you what my gut is on this. I think the system is siloed. I think there's too much turf. I think the community, out of passion, you know, mostly probably, but sometimes out of this is mine and don't take it from me, we haven't been able to break down these barriers and these silos. And as a result, things get chewed up in bureaucracy, and instead of the resources getting where they ought to get to, they get burned up somewhere else and it doesn't get to the client. I believe that with her experience in Medicaid, her experience in budget matters, her experience working for John Martin, she knows what the game is. It's the wrong way to say it. She knows what the challenge is. He runs a joint center where they have actually put physical and, well, mental health and, let me say that again, put mental health and the fight on drug addiction together. Okay, that's been a more efficient and effective operation. Mark, what I think is happening is there's so much out there that we need to kind of get it and integrate it and put it together. You get savings in that, but you can end up with a better model. So that's been our goal all along. It's been my history. Get smart people around to figure out how to deliver a better product at a lower price. And so, you know, that's kind of the way we think about this.
Is one of the goals to consolidate these agencies, perhaps with others, into a single?
It's very possible that over time we will have consolidation. When I met, very good question, when I met with Orman, I said, you know, you actually could be working yourself out of a job. He said, well, John, you know, there's a right way to do this, a wrong way to do this, and, you know, I'd like to be able to maintain a role. But that's something you want to do carefully. It's not something you just slap together. But yeah, that's a real possibility we would do it, which would, again, reduce duplication, put us in a position to have more effective delivery. Jim, you have a question?
You just answered it.
Okay. Joe?
I was going to ask you, said,
no, well, go ahead, just pipe right up.
She, Joe, not me, Joe. I was going to ask about you've been talking a lot about the casino deal, and that was approved by voters. Are you talking about possibly getting something on the ballot so that voters can look at that again?
You know, that is really unlikely, but you know, we're a ways away from being able to settle all these casino and gambling issues. I'm just saying to you that it rankles me that they spent approximately $200 million for a $1 billion asset. And it happened because they spent enough money to get it on the ballot, pass this thing, which means we didn't control our own destiny, and that's kind of my point. I'd like for us to be able to better control our own destiny on some of these issues. Now, are we done with this? Is the deal all done, and is there any more I can get? I'd like to think I could get something more, but we have to see, and it'd have to be a part of a comprehensive approach. Look, going back on the ballot is always a possibility, but it certainly isn't ideal. It isn't the best way to do things. I have too many things I have to do to be in a ballot fight and everything else, but if the public really understood this deal, They wouldn't like it. Joe?
Two of your new cabinet members work for Governor Strickland, and I would like to hear from them. Obviously, during the campaign, you and the governor articulated very different visions about many things. What was it that convinced them to accept your vision of things, and maybe they can talk about the contrasting styles of the two governors that work?
Well, I'm going to let them speak, but I'm also going to tell them that I've personally taken the George Bush approach in reverse. Bush won't talk about Obama, and I won't talk about Strickland. I think that's a smart way to handle it, as I prep you for this answer.
The coaching has been duly noted. Speaking for myself personally, ever since I was a small child, I've wanted to work for the government. I find that the complexity of challenge is really interesting, and the more that you learn about government and human services, the more you realize that you don't know. So it's constantly an evolutionary learning opportunity, and that is important to me. And also, having spent 7 or 8 years in the state budget office, I think that there is much that I could bring in terms of value to any administration. And at the core, I'm not a political person. I consider myself to be an administrator, and that's how I will continue to conduct myself in this new role.
Grade that a C. No.
The first thing I want to say is I don't think services for folks with disabilities is a political issue. I don't think it's a Republican issue or a Democratic issue. I think it's a moral issue. And in terms of working for the new governor, as I said, I was very taken by the interview with him, and that I think you always, at least to me, it's important to work for somebody who you think your values are aligned. And certainly, I'm sure we're going to have disagreements as we move through time on things. But it was, well, maybe I just lowered my grade.
That raises your grade because when we have a disagreement, we'll refer back to this. You guys haven't had this much fun at a press conference in years.
But anyway, just again, as I indicated before, I felt really pleased about his passion, his ideas, and so I'm just looking forward to getting the work done and moving the system forward.
Joe, I think a lot of the people that are coming in are sensing change. You take Tracy, for example. Well, you take Keene, okay, who first hired Tracy. Keene's in here because he says no more, mucking around the edges. I mean, this is a big deal to be talking. You don't all know it because you're not in the community, and I don't fully understand it. But this issue of integration, coordinated care, this is like a big, raging national issue. This is a chance for people to really move the ball. This is a big deal for people. When you think about energy, where we put that EPA and the DNR guy, why are they coming? Well, because they're thinking, we can get Ohio growing again, and boy, this is a chance for me to develop, whatever the natural resources are. Why do people come in? They're coming in. Why is this guy coming in who I'm going to announce tomorrow in the Department of Development? Because they see potential to have real change. And the thing I've been trying to talk about, and you'll have to see it when the budget comes out, look, it's big change to tell a city you're not going to be stuck with binding arbitration and have somebody fly in from Kokomo and impose a settlement on us that we can't afford. That's a big change. I mean, whether you like it or not, whether you agree with it or not, it's a big change. Talking about the possibility of leasing the turnpike. That's a big deal. I mean, we have put off major decision-making for so long that the ability to tackle big issues gets people pumped up. And it's my style to give them the authority to do it. And frankly, when you do that, mistakes will be made. And then I have to be held accountable, which I'm prepared to be, for mistakes that get made. But we can't let the fear of a mistake get in the way of the change. And I think that's why they're coming. They say this is an opportunity to do something differently. And it's cool. So I think we've covered it all. So thank you all very much, and we'll see you tomorrow at Ohio State. Thank you all.